So I visited here. So friends, I visited this library. So it was pleasure that I visited this library, and I came across this library, and I collected complimentary magazines. So this is Seattle Library. Now I'm the Seattle Public Library, Beacon Hill branch. The Seattle Public Library, Beacon Hill branch. I visited, and I love books, and I'm a bookworm. I read thousands of books during my lifetime, and I went to this library for the first time in Seattle, and I've been visiting libraries across the country. I mean across the India, because I'm a bookworm, and I visited libraries since my childhood. I don't know why I developed the liking for these libraries and books, and wherever I go to temples, and also I go to gym, and third thing is I will visit the libraries. And when I work in the educational institutions, I visited libraries. Either I'll be in the classroom or in the library. So that's how I did it when I visited, when I worked in the private colleges in India. Now I'm in Seattle, USA, and I collected a couple of magazines. It's a great experience, and people are very warm and friendly, and they have given a couple of complimentary magazines. Yeah, I have crossed the road, so I'll again talk about. So now this is an excellent viewpoint, and now I'm returning. You can hear the sounds of aircraft, and now let me see if there is any different route to come back. Just I'm looking at it. So I'll walk through a different place. Hi. Oh. Okay, now let me introduce myself. My name is Professor M.S.Rao. I have authored 53 books, including the award-winning book titled See the Light in You, for which the Nobel laureate, His Holiness Dalai Lama, has written a foreword. I have 43 years of diversified experience, including Indian Air Force, business, teaching and training. I am a late bloomer, dyslexic, ADHD, OCD, and I had a brain stroke in the year 2021. And I don't have two-wheeler, I don't have four-wheeler. I don't get any pension, I don't have any regular income. So lots of challenges I'm having in my life. I was born into a toxic family and grew up in a toxic environment. And I'm 61 years old, with mental challenges, physical challenges, and financial challenges. So this is briefly about my introduction. Now I am in Seattle. I could not go out for 2 days because of heavy snow. Now also there is a snow you can find here and there, but I took a risk and came out, and for the first time I visited this Seattle library, and as you know, I love books and I am a bookworm. I don't have any friends. Books are my friends. I can say in that way. So I live with my books. I'm happy with my wife and two sons. I'm in Seattle. I'm enjoying great moments in Seattle. So I would like to share with you a couple of aspects. Especially I'll share with you some ideas, insights related to my life and leadership. I request you to consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm an author, a researcher, and a storyteller. I create stories to make a difference and impact humankind. And I create models, methods, frameworks. I created my own philosophy. So like that, lots of things I keep doing despite having financial challenges. I love what I am doing. So I want to impact humankind as much as I can, because the life on this beautiful planet is very much limited. So we must identify the important areas and address them to impact humankind. This is Delta aircraft. There are two airlines here in Seattle. One is Alaska Airlines, then Boeing. There are two airports in Seattle. So now I'll walk straight this place. Just now I'll walk straight. I don't have to think here and there. So once I fix my destination, I'll keep going in that direction. In between there will be some distractions when I cross the road, especially. Okay. Now I would like to share some aspects. Like I would like to share with you about my philosophy. I started creating my own philosophy 2 months ago when I was in Seattle. Of course, now also I'm in Seattle. When I was walking on the trail of Seattle, an idea flashed on my mind to create my own philosophy. And the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So what I do, I am very proactive and positive, and whenever I get any ideas, immediately I capture the ideas and write down. A short pencil is better than a long memory. So I do things at my own pace. I capture the ideas, and I capture the ideas, then I will execute them at my own pace. That's what I do it. And so this is how I started thinking about my own philosophy. And so how I got this idea was that while walking I got an idea. Then again, second thing what I did was I captured that idea and I started working on that. And then I googled Professor M.S. Rao's philosophy. When I googled Professor M.S. Rao's philosophy, I was very much excited to find my result on search engine. On the first page as Professor M.S. Rao's philosophy is to emphasize health first, education second, and wealth third. He harnesses technology. So when I got the first result on the first page, then I was very much excited. It was an aha moment in my life, and I was on cloud 9, and it was the power of universe. So I started thinking very aggressively. Despite having health challenges and limitations, I was determined to create my own philosophy. That's how the idea has flashed, and I started working on that. Then again, I was not clear how to go about. There are around 8 billion people living on this beautiful planet. 8 billion people have 8 billion stories, and no two stories are similar, because every story is unique. Every idea is unique. So what we have to do is we have to capture the ideas, which is very important. People don't capture the ideas. People are smart, brilliant, but they don't work on that. But whereas in my case, what I do, whatever the triggers or the ideas that flash on my mind, I work on them and keep moving. That's how I do it. I'm very consistent and persistent, and also I became patient after the brain stroke. Before brain stroke, around 4 years ago, I was impatient. Now I became impatient. So precisely, I'm patient, I'm consistent, I'm persistent. I don't give up that easily. So once I take up something, I work on that. So this is how I do that. Then I was, two things resonate me are feedback, then continuous learning. So I am a continuous learner right from my childhood till date. I am learning and growing. That's one thing. The second thing is I take feedback very seriously. In the sense, I have documents from my students, then again documents from others. So like that, couple of documents I am having. So I analyzed my own documents, MS Word documents of various types, like others document, then again students feedback. So like that, all those things I analyzed. Then I came to know that there are some words that resonate my personality. So then I thought, so let me work on my own self-awareness, or whatever it is, feedback, whatever it is. Then I just started working on the words. Then the words that resonate my personality are attitude, gratitude, empathy, humanity, universe, power, spark, virtue, wisdom, knowledge. Like that, couple of words that resonated my personality. And about education, then I captured all those ideas. Then I started my own philosophy, that is educational philosophy. Because I was an educator, so I started work on my strength, and I wanted to work based on my passion for educational learning. So I started educational philosophy, connecting couple of words like attitude, gratitude, wisdom, knowledge, empathy. So all those things. So this is how I started my own philosophy. Tentatively, it's not a permanent philosophy as such, because it takes a very long time to create my own philosophy, because there are so many philosophers across the world, but everybody can't capture and everybody can't succeed, and there is no assurance of success. Of course, success is something still far away, but what we have to emphasize is impacting and the people that matters more than achieving success. So I started working from that perspective. Then I started my educational philosophy. Then I came from my Google research that Socrates is known as the father of philosophy. So that resonated me because I often mentioned about Socrates in my books, and also I often mentioned about Socrates during my teaching and training programs. So I felt very much connected my philosophy with Socrates. So then again I still remember from my memory of 4 people. SPAA, this is the acronym I have created very long back. S means Socrates, his disciple Plato, then Plato's disciple Aristotle, and Aristotle's disciple is Alexander the Great. So this is SPAA. So then again I was following that mnemonium, that the sequence. So I started thinking from the perspective of Socrates. This is how I started exploring my educational philosophy from the perspective of just a moment. I am crossing the road. Yeah, I crossed the road. Oh, thank you. Yeah, good. So here, this is the road. We have to get clearance. Yeah, I got a clearance. Now I am walking forward. So this is the road, and I have crossed. Still there is a snow, and I have crossed. Now I can walk peacefully, because here rules are very strict and we have to follow the guidelines. So I am going straight so that I don't get any distractions because of my walking. So I can focus clearly on my storytelling. So I started thinking educational philosophy. Then again I started admiring Marcus Aurelius. He was a Roman general, emperor, and a great leader, and he was stoic. And when I was researching, I came to know that I already published a research paper on stoicism. Then I also published an article titled "What is Your Leadership Philosophy?" So that means I felt that there is a lot of stuff available on Google. That means already I am having lots of knowledge within me. So then I thought it's time for me to work my own philosophy. People often search for stones by leaving gems at home. So when you are the gem, why do you search for stones here and there? So similarly, so people often search for stones by leaving gems at home. So for you are the gem, you are the genius. So unlock the genius within you, unlock the creativity within you, unlock your potential. So this is how I share with everyone, because when I am walking, I am sharing certain aspects on life and leadership. So you can capture some of my ideas and insights, and you can absorb them and apply them. Then again, here is a caution. Life is all about learning, unlearning, and relearning. So what worked in some areas may not work in the next areas. So you have to reinvent with the changing times and technologies. So I request you to take whatever is relevant and appropriate. Whatever you feel is not relevant, you can discard. I did the same thing, I still do the same now, and also I will do the same in the future. So this is what I am saying. So I take only whatever is relevant, appropriate. So again, when I talk about this philosophy, I just searched for types of philosophy, then stoicism, then again pragmatism, then again nihilism. Like there's lots of leadership, lots of philosophies are there. So then I started thinking it takes very long time. So then I said, so let me work on that. So I decided to invest daily 1 to 2 hours in a day on my own philosophy. So I am planning to publish a book on my philosophy, not now, in the near future. So this is what I am thinking about my on my philosophy. I am not only thinking, I started doing it. Right? People can think many years, but we have to execute. That matters more. So I started executing at my own pace, little by little. So as I said, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. I took the first step because I am positive and proactive, and I execute things at my own pace. So this is briefly about my own philosophy, and so next one I would talk about my life in a nutshell. I was born on October 31st, 1963. I was born on October 31st, 1963 in a tiny village in India, and I was born into a toxic family and grew up in a toxic environment, and I could not enjoy my childhood. My childhood was chaotic. Sometimes I supported my father in the tea stall. Sometimes I cleaned dishes. Sometimes I served tea. So lots of petty stuff I did it in my childhood, and I could not enjoy my childhood. And And my father was a litigant and alcoholic, and my mother was naysayer. So I was cursed with toxic siblings. So luckily I joined Indian Air Force, and that was a game changer in my life. And in fact I had a dream to put on uniform and serve my country. So I joined Indian Air Force at the age of 18. I discontinued my degree. Then again I continued when I was in the Indian Air Force by paying the condonation fee. So people might think it is contradictory to make that kind of statement. Yes, I when I was doing my degree, that was BSc, I joined Indian Air Force. Then I paid condonation fee for the rest of the time. Then I got a degree, but not completed. So kept pending. My papers were kept pending because already I joined in the Indian Air Force. Then after I joined the Indian Air Force, then I took tuitions and completed my degree. This is briefly about my degree. So in those days the salary was very much limited. I was getting around 400 rupees in a month. So with limited money, I was whatever the limited money was available, that I supported my parents and sent my money regularly to and this is what I did. Just a moment, I'll cross. So whatever the money was available, I mean I was getting around 400 rupees every month. So that money every month I sent to my parents and supported them, and I also gave my money to purchase gold, then construct homes. So lots of things I did. Unfortunately I was backstabbed by my own siblings, so it was a very challenging time. So that was a different aspect. But after I joined the Indian Air Force, the contribution on my part was that I started continuing my journey of education, because I had passion for education since my childhood, and there was some spark or some divine force that was guiding me, that led me to come up to this level despite health challenges. And I acquired 6 qualifications from the Indian Air Force. They are DME, BSc, MA, MBA, PGDCLL and PGDPM. So these were the qualifications I earned through private education, and I was not blessed with convent education, and I was not blessed with the English education. I started with the Telugu language, so gradually I started adapted. So I acquired all the qualifications through private education, not through regular education. And people might think that I acquired my qualifications from reputed universities like Harvard or Cambridge, but the fact is that I was a college dropout, and I acquired all the qualifications through private education, and there was no consistency in my education. Whatever was available, I explored. Precisely, I didn't have any guide, I didn't have any coach, I didn't have any mentor. So if I had a coach, if I had a mentor, if I had a coach, I would have gone in one direction. And I don't have any father, and I don't have any godfather to support. So everything I had to struggle and learn of my own. So this is a very challenging part of my life. So but still I acquired 6 qualifications, and there was only one consistency in my education, was that I was a continuous learner. So I acquired 6 qualifications. It's with lots of difficulties and challenges, because I served in the Indian Air Force, and I visited libraries regularly in the Indian Air Force. Now in Seattle also I visited a library some half an hour back. So you can imagine the kind of passion I have for book reading, and I visited Seattle library just now, and I collected some samples. I collected some complimentary copies from Seattle library, So this is the collection I got, and so 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 that passion for reading led me to come up to this level. And I served in the Indian Air Force for 12 years in the lowest rank of a corporal. People again might think that I was a commissioned officer in the Indian Air Force, but the reality was that I served in the lowest rank of a corporal for 12 years. Then my father-in-law invited me to join for business. Unfortunately, my father-in-law and brother-in-law backed out and backstabbed, and I landed in further problems. I had problem with toxic siblings. Then again, I have problem with father-in-law and brother-in-law. So these are all the kind of challenges I underwent. So it's very challenging in my life. So I did business for some years, but things didn't work out. Then I left business and became an educator in the year 2007. So 2007 was a turning point in my life, and I became an educator. Precisely, education helped me overcome the adversity in the year 2007, and I became an educator and a faculty member. So I started my journey as an educator in the year 2007, and again I had 6 qualifications at that time. Out of those 6 qualifications, one qualification, that is MBA, was required to become a faculty member to teach management subjects and engineering subjects. So that was essential, and I had it. So that helped me to become an educator, and I become a faculty member. So now you can imagine how my life has changed. And throughout my life I kept moving without giving up. Just a moment. I'm waiting for a moment at the junction. Oh, just a moment. I want to cross the junction, so then I will start sharing my story. This is a junction. I want to share my story. Once I cross the junction, it's very cold in Seattle. Literally, with my both hands are frozen. It's very cold. Still, I am holding. So once I cross the road, then I will share my storytelling. And it's very cold in Seattle. It's an open place. I got clearance. Yeah, please come. Oh, good. Yeah, I crossed the road and I got clearance. Good, very good. It's very cold. Somehow I have to go back. Okay. So yeah, I was talking about my life as an educator. So at that time I was getting a salary of around 8,000 or 9,000. With that money, I managed for myself, for my wife and 2 sons. It's a very challenging time for us. So I just managed and started teaching as an educator. In the month of December, I made a very smart decision at that time. I joined for my Ph.D. in the year 2007 December. So it was a game changer in my life, and MBA was required. I had. Second thing, I needed to submit some articles and papers. Then I had already published some articles on competitive magazines in the 1990s. Then again I published articles in magazines in between the year 1991 to 1993. So I contributed to various newspapers. So I took out the printouts and I paid the fee of 10,000 with a MBA degree. Then I joined for my PhD. So 10,000 rupees was money I managed to mop up, and then I joined for my PhD in the month of December 2007. In the 2008 January, rules were changed. So you can imagine the situation. If I had delayed by a few days, I wouldn't have joined for my PhD, and I wouldn't have been in a position to mobilize the money to join for PhD. So friends, the message from this story is that when you get opportunities, you have to grab them, don't delay. And people are dying for opportunities, and there are some people, they ignore the opportunities, they don't grab the opportunities. So the message from this video is that grab the opportunities and don't delay the things, and you act smartly and swiftly. That's what I did. That worked out in my favor. It's not that I am wise. I made so many mistakes. I made more mistakes than success. So 2008, the 2007 I joined for PhD, and the year 2007 I got my PhD in soft skills. Then in the year 2010, I made my debut as a non-fiction author, and I published books in different genre like teaching, training, education, learning, diversity, mindfulness. So like the different areas I entered. And then again, there was a challenge with me, was that I didn't have any guide, I didn't have any mentor. Whatever was flashing on my mind, I was working and moving forward, and I didn't stick to any particular genre. So this was one more challenge. If I had a mentor, if I had a coach, if I had a guide, probably I would have gone in one direction, then I would have excelled. But again, that was a challenge. But it's okay. But I kept moving forward. Then I published 53 books. So I made my debut as a non-fiction author in the year 2010, and I published 53 books, and I published more than 300 research papers. I published more than 1,000 articles, and I was a regular contributor for Entrepreneur magazine, and I serve on the editorial boards of DLO of Emerald and JVPL of USA. So all these things I achieved within a span of 15 years. That means I made my debut in the year 2010 as an author, and 2025, that means for the last 15 years I achieved so much. How I achieved is that I work very, very hard. I wake up morning 4 o'clock, night 10 o'clock I sleep. Throughout the day I work hard. There is no rest in my life. I take rest only at my graveyard. Now also I am walking walking in a cold climate. It's very cold, minus temperature. I am walking in Seattle, holding my books which I got from Seattle library. So these are all the books I got. So you can imagine about my life. So I am holding with my smartphone in a severe cold, and I can't shift my smartphone from left hand to right hand, as my right hand has been paralyzed, and my right shoulder and right hand has been numb. So I am just holding the bag of complimentary magazines which I got from Seattle library. It's very painful to hold with my left hand, because I am holding smartphone with my left hand in cold climate, and my right hand is also painful now. Why? Because I am holding complimentary magazines from the library in Seattle. So in both the hands I have problems. So life is not easy, it's very challenging. So this is how I did. and I published 53 books. In fact, I wrote 60 books, but published only 53. 7 books are yet to be edited and published. But for the last 4 years, I have health challenges, and I am not able to eat with my right hand. I am not able to type with the right hand. So these are the challenges I am having. So once I have overcome my health challenges, then I will complete my pending 7 books. Apart from that 7 books, I want to write a memoir. This memoir is again a different genre. This book titled Survivor will be a tiny book, which is a memoir. This book will talk about my brain stroke, betrayal, back pain, challenges, everything I would like to share on this book. This will be a tiny book because I can't write bulky books in view of the health challenges. So I will only publish a tiny book which will be a memoir once I overcome my health challenges. So this is about my books and my journey, so you can understand my challenges about my life. So apart from this Survivor book, I am also planning to write a book on my philosophy, but not now. Maybe it may take 5 to 10 years. So this is about my books, this is my philosophy, and this is my life. And so now when you look at my life in a nutshell, that means I was born on October 31st, 1963 to till date. My life is full of challenges, more of challenges. So I am planning to give rights to publish my life by way of a documentary. If there are any publishers or if there are any sponsors, then I'll give rights and I'll publish a documentary of my life. So this documentary will be very inspiring because of the my challenges. So I'm looking forward to a documentary, and if there are any sponsors and if someone any streaming platforms like Netflix publishes my documentary, so I'll be very happy and excited. So I'm very optimistic that I will definitely publish my documentary, and I think it can also become a film also. That we can't predict, but I am very much sure that I'll publish a documentary, provided if there are any sponsors. So this is my life in a nutshell. So now I am returning home, and I'll share various other aspects of my life, because I don't want to waste my time while walking. Anyhow, I have to walk. So anyhow, I have health challenges. Anyhow, I have a severe cold, and there is snow also. Then again, I have a chronic back pain. I am holding with the smartphone on the road, and also I am holding books which I got from Seattle library. That librarian has given me, it's so kind. And of course, so they give complimentary magazines, and they gave me a book. They gave me a bag also, and I kept that magazines, books, everything in that. So I'll go to home and I'll read those magazines slowly, but I don't do things at one go, and I will read them slowly. Okay, now I'll talk about my brain stroke. So I had brain stroke in the year 2021. I had a brain stroke, and 2019 World Health Organization has declared COVID was a pandemic. So people didn't take that seriously about the pandemic. But globally, the pandemic has changed the game. There are many people died across the world, and in India alone around 50 lakh people died because of COVID. And in the first lockdown, I was okay, and we all confined to home, and I worked at home, and also published a book titled COVID-19 Human Search for Meaning. That's the book title. That book I had dedicated to the present Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi. So this was very much required at that time, and immediately I acted and I published a book, COVID-19. So this was about COVID. Then what happened? 2021, my wife and I had COVID, and we both were returning. We were recovering from COVID. Then what happened? My wife recovered, and I could not recover. On the other hand, I collapsed. My right portion of the body was totally paralyzed. So it was very challenging, and luckily my wife and my elder son took me to a hospital, and there again one more challenge. We didn't have beds, lack of beds at that time in India. That was one problem, and lack of cylinders at that time. There was shortage of cylinders too, and we didn't have money. So these were the challenges, and I was shifted to 3 ambulances. So you can imagine the kind of challenges I encountered, and luckily my younger son acted very quickly and paid money, and I survived. And doctors felt that I won't survive of the brain stroke, because I also saw a dead body beside my bed. He died because of COVID, and I saw his dead body kept on the ice box. And there was a guy also died one day after me in the same locality. So life taught me many things. Right under my nose I have seen the death in front of me. So life has changed dramatically. Doctors thought that I won't survive, but I survived. Then again doctors thought that I won't get up from bed, but I got up and I started walking. So these are all the miracles. So how I survived? Because of the power of subconscious mind. I programmed my subconscious mind. Even when I was on the bed, I gave positive comments that yes, I am all right. I am all right. So that's what I told, and so I programmed my subconscious mind when I was in the ICU itself. Then all those positive comments and the power of subconscious mind helped me to bounce it back. I proved my critics wrong in 2 ways. One is they said that I won't survive. I proved them wrong. Second thing was that I proved them that I will get up. So I got up and I am walking in Seattle. So rest is the story of my brain stroke. So after in the hospital also it's very challenging. The doctors exploited, asked more money than what we had to pay. But there was it was a total exploitation in India at that time. So somehow I survived. My younger son paid the bills. My elder son helped, and I came out of the ICU. Then I did the physiotherapy exercises. It was very painful, and I started walking because I was forgetting of the brain stroke. I had a blurred vision, and I was forgetting the things. I was repeating the same thing. Now also sometimes I repeat the same thing of the brain stroke. So these are all the challenges. So for 1 year I had challenges. I started going to park in the evening with my wife, because I should not get lost on the way because of the memory issues. So after for 1 year I started walking, but still for the last 4 years I still have that problem with my right hand. I can't type with my right hand, and I can't eat with my right hand. These are all the challenges I'm encountering. So these are all the challenges, and I'm stammering, I'm repeating the same thing even after 4 years. So life is like that. Life taught me many lessons. Life told me, I learned, don't take things for granted. I realized how fragile life is. Otherwise I was taking everything granted before the COVID, but COVID opened my eyes and I realized how fragile the life is. I started living on the present. People waste 30% of their precious time thinking about the past that won't come back. People think too much about the future that can't be predicted. So learn to, instead of thinking about the unpleasant past, instead of thinking too much about the future, so you learn to live in the present and enjoy every moment of your life. What you have right now is the present, so live with the present. So this is the life. This is my story. I reached home, and it's very painful to walk, and it's very painful to hold with my left hand, and it's very painful to hold the complimentary magazines and books with my right hand, but still I reached home. So this is an example of resilience. So friends, it's very easy to preach, but it's very difficult to practice in this world. So lead from the front. So let me look at my. So friends, I reached home. Life is beautiful. Life is amazing. Life is a miracle. Practice gratitude. With gratitude